What if I show you how to grow that small account of yours from $100 to either $10,000, from $200 to $10,000 with this simple strategy here? It's really going to help you a lot because I have tested this strategy. I have shown some people how to use it and they have actually succeeded in this market. Right, so let's get into it. So this is the price of gold. I'm going to be giving you rules that you need to follow here step by step. Number one, we are going to start with the highest time frame. Let's, for example, in this case, use 4-hour time frame. We are going to start with the highest time frame, 4-hour time frame, as you can see in these prices of gold here. The reason we are using highest time frame, 4-hour time frame, is so that we can see and spot the market direction, where the market is moving. Because once we know the market, where the market is moving, of course, we need to identify the types of trends that we're going to be taking. If the market is on uptrend, on the trends that we're going to be taking, actually more of them on this scalping thing and just growing this small account, actually it is actually going to be buys if the market is moving up. And if the market is moving down, of course, most of the short that you're going to be finding in this market. Number two, if this strategy here, we're going to be looking for more sniper entries into this market, because sometimes when there's no room for drawdowns, because small drawdowns can actually wipe your account, or maybe because of leverage you're not even able to open the strategy. So let's start with this. So this is 4-hour time frame. I'm not even going to start far. I'm going to start from the top here all the way you can just see this market just moving. So after, when you realize something just like this, let's say your market actually was trading around this area here and you spot absolutely something just like this. Let's even say you spotted a market that was absolutely right here, and then you realize, of course, this market is going to end down because of what you have actually enlightened. Actually, it's very easy to know when the market is on the downtrend or on the uptrend. Is absolutely very simple, because you need the trend lines that will just help you into that market. For example, you can see this line here. If I draw, for example, then just like that, it will tell you that this market is absolutely moving up, of course, but there are lots of things that made this market to move down all this level. Number two is to mark the most important region that we really have. Number one, you're going to mark these possible areas of where this market can test. Of course, we have a area like this. This is a demand zone. Of course, we have a supply zone around this area here, where people are selling more around this area here. Just look at that. So you can see this market is absolutely at the center here, and this market from this region all the way to this area just look like the market is on a range. Most of the time I find such market, but where this market is looking even at the candlesticks, it is very simple to tell you that this market is absolutely moving down, like this market is on the trend. Now look for the areas like how the market is moving like this, then mark, of course, where you see the demand building, like for example in this zone here, because there's likelihood for this market when it moves down, there's maybe a likelihood for this market to support this. Now after highlighting that, you don't even need a lot in this market. We move straight to 1-hour time frame. After marking some few areas into the market, yes, you can see we have already marked this zone that we have here, exactly that point right there. Now look at this. I just play this market. Let's see that this market is going to do. Look at this area here. Now this is the most important area that I wanted us to look at. When you see areas where we have the demand, sometimes make sure that you mark also this, where the support and the resistance are actually occurring. For example, in this area, you can see it is a support, but most of these cases actually going to act as the resistance of this market. You make sure, for example, if it was 1 hour, I could actually also have marked this region again from this point as well, because this matters. So you see how the market reacting. Now the most important part is actually when the market came and tested this region. So I must reduce the speed. So you see this spot here, this is what matters. When the market actually touches the previous support level, which is located around this area. Can you see this area here? So around this area here is becomes, because already we have identified that this market is coming down, this now becomes our key area of interest. So you highlight this area here, around here, you see this region here, this matters a lot. So when this market, because it's not going to move fast like that, of course, when this market comes to that area, then you need to move to either 5-minute time frame so that you can see how the market is performing around this area, around here. Then look at that, look at this. So then of course you can just now start doing a small analysis that is happening to the market at that level. Number one, this is what I can do. I can actually even highlight, for example, after this market touched this area and started moving up, like the trend, how is the trend of that market? If I highlight something like this, then of course I realize that we earn some few touches that we got from this market, of which the market touched around there and here and around this level here, marking that when this market comes down and move all the way to the top here, then of course I'm going to highlight and see how the candles are really going to perform around this area here. So once you see the first black candle or the red candle for me from this top here and engulf this, that means it moves down, then you wait for the next candle actually to move up like a half of that candle. Then of course you start now selling from the top right there. That is known as the sniper entry, and it's just as simple like that. The next goal that we can actually have after even selling from that pressure, I know it's really simple here, but I want us to repeat the same pattern again. I want us to repeat the same pattern here again. Look at this. This market and this region, for example, where the market is right now, like in this level around this area here. Can you see this? This is where the market has visited, right? Can you see this? This is actually acting as the support, but you can see now it is a resistance. So if you were to sell, of course, the selling point becomes from this short that we have here, and you are going to focus. But remember, the best area that you need to look at is this level, of course, because the market is going to move all the way just down like that. So that is going to be our main area of focus that we really have from that market. And make sure that at least your stop loss is highlighted at least above that one. Of course, now you see the support becoming the resistance in that area. So if I play this out, you're going to see the market, yes, moved, but you can see now the market has really moved so down. Now the next area that we have on this is absolutely this area here. Is there a possibility, because now most of our entries are sells, is there a possibility this market is going to touch that region and start moving down? Let's see. Of course, the market has just moved all the way back, and I think this is the current price that we really have from these prices, this market that we have here. Let's see. Let's look at that. Yeah, you can see almost touched it again after moving all the way down. But just look at this. We have different areas of where the market has actually reacted like for example, we have here. But the most important part after realizing this, after spotting these opportunities, is always going to know what the market is really performing. Let me just highlight something very simple here. Let this market stop playing so that we can know what we are waiting to see from this market. So I think that is where we have the current price like right now. So let me move fast. Let's see. So we only achieved the goal around that area here. Yeah, now that is the current price that we really have here. And I think next week the market is really going to be moving on the other side. Now this is what you do now, like when you realize this market really going to move from that area here. You can see, for example, this reaction that we got from this market around this area here. We got a small reaction towards this area here. Of course it happens. So this area here, can you see this? This is, of course, the touches. The market went back around this area here and decided to move all the way back, like from this is 50.25 and moved all the way to 50.16. So that is the short small time frame that we are really using here, and they really work so much. But I want us to highlight the difference on where you can place a stop loss is actually by using what we call now the volume profile. I can, for example, take this down all the way to this area here, and then we are going to see the areas, of course, where the market is experiencing this. If you look at this, we have so many sell orders. Of course, this is trend, because you can see 809, 905. Of course, these are sell orders. That means people have placed the sell orders. So once the market start touching this area, of course, it's now a proof that the market is selling from that zone, right? So that is what is happening from those levels. You can see a buy opportunity developing from this zone here, and that's why you see from this area, and the market is going to presume to move on the upper side when it actually opens. So volume profile is going to help you know where the market is opening, or like where the prices are really opening. I know sometimes if you're a beginner, this may sound complicated, but don't worry. This is undelta volume, right? This is undelta volume. I'll classify more of this in the comments, so you can actually follow me. You can see, for example, around this area here, we have mini buy on, like we have higher volume around this area. Like this, we have lower volume, and that's why you see the price moved so fast, right? There are a lot of activities taking place here around sales volume, market moving so fast. That's why you see that happening. To understand more of this into the details, I know if you're a beginner, this might sound complicated somehow, but make sure that you follow me, because I'm going to explain each step deeply and in a very simple way that you can understand. But I really don't want to make this video so long, so ensure that you follow me on our social media platform at Dan Forex. I'll see you again.